Hey guys, it's me, Parasol's Bike Guy, here again for another gripping installment of Skullgirls Guides, better known as Skugs. We're going to talk about Undizzy, Burst, and the part you've all been waiting for, baby, the number one thing this game is known for, resets. The concept of a reset is pretty straightforward. You're intentionally dropping your combo to set up a potential mix-up situation, thereby resetting the combo. The reason that resets are so prevalent in this game are due to a few reasons, but the main one I'd say is the tiny little bar below everyone's health. This is the Undizzy bar, and this is the main limitation you're going to have to deal with when comboing and going for resets. As you combo someone, this little green bar begins to fill, and once it starts filling, your combo will progressively deal less and less damage. Once it's finally filled up, your opponent will get the opportunity to break out the combo with a burst. For more combo specifics, since this isn't really a combo guide, this is like combo adjacent, I highly recommend checking out Andrew's combo guide, another link in the description. But there are two types of burst in this game, indicated by the color, one being gold and the other being blue. Gold bursts are safe bursts. They happen either when your opponent gets hit by a burst or blocks it, this includes assists by the way, if you burst a projectile, or if you wait a full second and a half after burst is available. Blue bursts happen if your burst completely whiffs, during which you are punishable and encounter its state until you hit the ground. If you get burst baited, you're probably dying unless you have a really good alpha counter in the back. So what do we do with the system presented to us by this game? Well, the first thing we can do is do a full combo and then run the knockdown afterwards. But like I said in the offense guide, not everyone is Beowulf and has strong knockdowns all the time, so this isn't really optimal. Another thing you can try to do is bait the burst, primarily using this with a mix-up with throw to create a 50-50, but if your opponent doesn't take the bait, then you're basically letting them out for free. This is a low-risk, high-reward option, since baiting burst completely empties the Undizzy bar and leaves the opponent in a murder state. However, throws in max Undizzy means they take almost negative damage, so they kind of can afford to take as many throws as they want. It's like a whole thing. It's like a whole thing with throw and burst. You don't need to worry about it now, okay? You don't need to. So then, what do? You reset them, and then you reset them again, and then you reset them again, and then you do a third unnecessary reset for style points, and then you kill them. When you drop your combo, your opponent just is. They aren't in any sort of special state. They don't fall to the ground. They just come out of the combo in a neutral state and are completely actionable. With this information, you can set up some tricky sequences mid-combo to create safe and unreactable mix-up situations. But how safe are they? Are they really unreactable? Well, let's take a look at some common situations and see what we can do about them. So the first one we're going to look at is this situation after Silver Cord with Squiggly, okay? She's going to do a jab and either go for a 2 LK low, a 6 HP high, or a throw. If you're big, she can also cross you up, which is pretty funny, but we're going to focus on high-low throw for now. So with this offensive option set, what is the option set we have on defense? You, as the defender, can't mash in this situation, which is the thing I want to do the most, and believe me, I tried it a lot. The gap is just too small to mash a button. You can try to up back, and this is a pretty decent defensive option to bank on, since it'll beat highs and throws, but lose to lows. You can reversal out, which is a pretty big risk for you as the defender, since it leaves you open to exploding. However, the attacker usually has to hard call this out with a block, so, you know, they have to read you for that. But not all reversals are created equal. Some reversals like tag can still be baited while going for the low option, and 6 HP can eat through some armored reversals. So this one is a little character specific, but usually every team will have some option here. Oh, you could try to call a DP assist. On second thought, maybe not. Finally, you can just choose the option no one wants to pick, which is to just block. This is nice since you can boil it down to just between two options, either picking between low block or up backing, and once you block, you get all the nice defensive options this game gives you, like push block and alpha counter. But is blocking that easy? Can you just sit back and react to this mix-up? I would say yes, with an asterisk. Okay, so Squiggly 6 HP is 22 frames, so this is definitely within the realm of reactability. However, if you play online, or if you play on console, there's going to be a certain amount of delay, which brings the speed of this overhead down to somewhere between 20 to 18 frames. I'm not going to say you can't react to it, but me personally, I'm guessing. Okay, so this is a little advanced, but some savvy viewers in the audience might notice that the low and the overhead don't hit at the same time. So you can use an advanced technique called Option Select Block, where you start blocking low and then block high to catch both of the timings. This is a pretty decent way of dealing with this. However, Squiggly is in the driver's seat the whole time. So she can easily choose to delay the 2k or use her 2 HP as a low option so that the two basically hit at the same time. While this does leave more of a gap, it makes it so that choosing to option select the mix-up is really difficult and unreliable versus a better player who knows what they're doing. Next, we'll use an Annie reset. This one is pretty simple. Annie launches the opponent in the air, does an instant air dash jump light kick, and boom! You're getting mixed. It was a left-right all along, GG shake my hand. So how do we deal with this situation? Well, because you're airborne this time, you don't have to worry about high-lows at all, but by the same token, most reversals in this game are grounded, and it's a privilege to have an invuln air super. And this mix-up is basically invisible. It happens really quickly, and Annie is off-screen when she does it, so you're not going to be blocking this on reaction. So is this mix-up infallible? No. Remember that once you're out of a combo, you're completely actionable. And despite what it may seem, you actually have a lot more time to act in this mix-up compared to the Squiggly reset we saw before. Most, if not all, characters can mash out of this, although this is a bit of a risk and it loses to air throw. The simplest and safest thing you can do to get out of the situation is to just use an air option your character has. Double jumping, air dashing, or wolf blitzering out is a simple yet effective way of removing yourself from the situation with little risk. Despite this looking like a demon mix-up from hell, you actually have a lot of wiggle room to play with, which allows for a good amount of counterplay. This is definitely one of the weaker mix-up situations in the game, and every character in this game has weaker mix-ups that they will cycle through for various reasons. Whether it's for its utility against certain characters, or to throw off your opponent's guard at a pivotal moment, or maybe you just think the mix is funny, and you like to do it. This mix-up is particularly strong against Para and Umbi, since the two of them have the most limited air options, so they're forced to either choose to mash or tech a throw. It's also pretty decent as a round stealer, since it's really hard to see and your opponent might not be prepared for it since it's so quick. This mix-up also has some utility, funnily enough, as you can do it during a happy birthday, and on hit it'll actually keep the happy birthday going. So make sure that you, as the defender, don't just accept every mix-up coming your way, and try to consider the options available to you in any given reset situation. A reset might look scary at first glance, but with a bit of knowledge of the reset and your own team, you might have more options than you initially thought. And this once terrifying mix-up becomes nothing more than... a cheap parlor trick done by swindling Street Fighter players? I don't know. Where am I going? This last mix-up we're going to look at comes from everyone's favorite zoner, Peacock. She's my favorite zoner, at least. For this, we're going to be needing an assistant, a little assist coming in. I'm a big fan of Triv, so we'll be using Squiggly's Dragon Bite, but there are plenty of assists that can set up this style of mix-up. We're going to use a basic example for this one. She definitely has stronger mix-ups than this, but it's a decent start. It's where I would recommend Peacock players to start with. We do a little string into stand heavy punch, call assist, set up M item drop, launch him, and bam, mix once again. This mix-up looks quite similar to the previous one, but with one key difference. Remember how I said, oh, you're in the air so you have more options? Well, what if those options were all snuffed out by one thing? Item drop. Peacock is using an assist to set up an item drop mid-combo to make the mix-up much harder to deal with. Not only do you get launched into the skies, limiting your defensive options, but the item is there to cover Peacock. stopping you from using a lot of different forms of counterplay from the previous example. Mashing doesn't work. Jumping doesn't work. Air dashes doesn't work. And for a lot of characters, even supers don't work. The thing that makes this mix-up so strong and potent is the fact that it's really fast, really safe, and most characters have to block to get out of it. After you block the item, you do have a few options you can do. Primarily push blocking to stall your momentum and picking an option after, since if you don't push block, the item drop will drag you to the ground where she might be able to have another mix-up ready and waiting. But this requires you to actually block the mix-up. And that's hard to do when Peacock is off the screen while she's doing this and all you can see is the tippy top of her toppy tip hat. Not to mention all the ways she can mess with you in this situation, like air throw or keeping you in hit stun the entire time to mix you a different way. To make it even harder for the defender, you can't even really punish this in almost any context. She can see you block and then choose to peel off to full screen where she's still winning, and that's especially easy to do when you push block the item because you don't want to get mixed by a second mix-up after blocking the first one. God, Peacock is awesome. Point is, this is one of the hardest kinds of mix-ups to deal with in the game. So does this mean that Peacock is broken? Yeah, absolutely. But this isn't something entirely unique to her, it's just more accessible to her. Many characters get a safer, more powerful mix-up with either the use of an assist or by using meter. Maybe not quite as strong as the ones Peacock get for similar costs, but it's still readily available and accessible to the rest of the cast. P actually does get a similar mix-up like this without assists. However, it's not quite as safe since she doesn't have item drop covering her. And there is a way for Peacock to get item drop mix-up solo, but it uses up a lot of Undizzy to get there. So it's not quite as worth as this example here. A side note, if any devs are watching, please don't nerf P. She's so cool. I love zoning with my cartoon zoner. I'll take anything, bro. Buff Misfortune. I nerf Annie. I'll sign a deal with the devil. I'll even let you buff Beowulf. Just please don't kill my funny cartoon zoner. I love her so much. After watching all these cool, devious, and downright hilarious mix-ups, the main thing I want you to understand is that resets aren't just a one-player game where you have to hold 12 mix-ups in a row with zero counterplay. Resets are all about being active on both sides. Like
Silktail
said in his critically acclaimed New York Times bestseller YouTube video, Mix-Ups in Skullgirls, you as the defender have to be willing to participate in the mix-up. And each mix-up situation is different, so you really need to experiment with what options your team has versus every mix-up. Because even the most devious setups have things that can outright beat them. You gotta be active. If you're just sitting there, thumb in your mouth, Bible in the other hand, praying to God while your mom is on the phone asking why you're having a panic attack, then I'm sorry, buddy. I hope you get mixed. And I hope I'm the guy that's doing the mixing, okay? With that, I hope I could help y'all understand and deal with resets a little bit better. I know how frustrating it feels when you're starting out and you feel like you're getting hit once and can't play the game, but with time, research, and a bit of ingenuity, you too can mash Supersonic Jab when someone has the call to mix you on their turn, because it's always Big Man's turn. And if there's one thing you should take away from this guide, it's this. Get yourself a safe DHC so you can mash for free. It's awesome. Thank you again for joining us for another glorious Skullgirls Guides video. I really hope you guys liked this one. For this one in particular, it took a while. I was really wanted to make sure the resets guide was good, and I still missed some stuff, so for this one in particular, ask in the comment. I'm sure Skullgirls Guides will help answer some stuff. Please, Skullgirls players, if I'll try to get to everything, but I just don't know everything. So beyond that, though, I will start. I'm gonna start streaming on the twitch.tv/theZoddGuy. I'm just mostly going to be streaming my tournament run and watching some Mixed Masters VODs, because I watch Mixed Masters VODs when they drop anyway, free content. And I'll start posting up some of my tournament runs, mostly for personal use, but I'm definitely going to chop them together to just be the run, just be all the matches I play, so I can just succinctly watch all my matches. And beyond that, I have the next Skugs is going to be a banger. It's going to be a good video. And other than that, I will be doing some Strive Season 3 stuff. So watch out for a Johnny guide, like a starter guide on release, and maybe a Testament guide a little further down the line. I want to make sure I know that character like pretty well for Season 3 before I make a character. If you don't know, I'm a Testament main. I love that, and I'm a Strive lover too. So yeah, thank you very much, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. One more take. And this once terrifying mix-up becomes nothing more than a cheap parlor trick done by fake magicians and used car salesmen. Joel, tell me that joke is funny. It's just if you hear it and you think it's funny, you just tell me if it's funny.